Morning. Morning, Stefan. How you going? Sorry I'm a little late. Morning, Adam. Morning, Will. Morning, back 40. I have my computer set up. You can see the glow of it right here. If I don't look directly at the camera, it's because I can see you down there. Sorry I'm a bit late. My alarm snoozed on me. Oh, James just got done, did he? Cool. How you going, Holla? Oh, I'm sorry, Will. Withdrawals always suck. I'm still waking up, so. I don't even know where my sanding stick is. Oh, there it is. Yes, lack of tea. That's right, lack of tea. Eating beans. Hey, Steve, how you going, mate? On vacation, lucky you. Savannah, Georgia. Cool. I'm a huge fan of beans. Let's see how long my computer lasts. Hey, Jake. Alright. Let's get to doing the thing that this is supposed to be thing. Oh, thank God. Ben's here. Sanding shenanigans again, indeed. Sorry to disappoint, but there's a lot of sanding shenanigans to be had in the next couple of days. But not as much as last year. Last year was on a different level. Wash out all my cleaning. Sharp lines. Hey Gordon, how it going? Hey Ethan. Sanding in story time. Yeah. Tends to go that way with hand sanding streams, doesn't it? At the moment I'm actually sanding the clips on, a clip on a buoy that I ground in. Bloody Cody. Hey Garriola, how you going, mate? Welcome to the stream. This is not the usual live stream fare that I put up, but I'm currently in preparation for live streams. God, it's too early. Where's my tea? Currently in preparation for a knife show, and so I'm working feverishly to complete a bunch of knives, including this vest buoy that's sitting in front of me. It's more attributed to the fact that I literally woke up about 10 minutes ago. Well, I enjoy the Sandy Shenanigans streams. I have to do more of them this year. They're an opportunity for me to, actually engage with the community. Like while the forging streams are fun, I tend to be more engaged with the work than the viewers. So this is a good opportunity to be more engaged with the viewers than the work. Of course, I still have to get work done because these knives aren't going to sand themselves, but it's a lot easier to talk and do this than it is. Morning, Wiley. Yes, children. Who'd have them? Yeah, so it's a lot easier for me to kind of engage with the community and stuff like that. Needs a schooner. A schooner of Black Rifle coffee. Yeah, at the moment I'm avoiding coffee, sadly. Yeah, so I really enjoy these because it lets me actually engage with you guys and have a bit of fun. I know it's not as exciting because I'm not forging anything, but I'll get back to those soon enough too. These were a happy byproduct of my preparations for Perth Knife Show last year, and so I think I'm going to keep them. Team who? That's not nice, Ben. Thanks for dropping in, Steve. Enjoy your holiday. Drive safely tomorrow. Now, part of me's thinking that I probably should have taken this to a higher grit before I went hand sanding. Well, before I ground in the clip. Yeah, that's true, Adam. I swore there was a Hobart Knife Show for a while. Hey Ed, how you going? Clips don't take that much to sand, fortunately. No, Northern Territory is not a state. Territory. As any car guy will tell you, territories don't deserve any kind of respect. I'm not for this stage. I will when I get to the higher grits and I go to my finish sanding. I will be using WD-40 or an equivalent. But at this stage, I'm just using soapy water, which is a risk, but it's a calculated risk. As a former president of the ACT, yeah, well. I have more swords than you do, Adam. I think I'll win. I didn't see that post, Gordon. Sorry, mate. Facebook, I don't spend a lot of time on there. The only time I'm on there is to upload photos to my business care page. I'm terribly inactive on Facebook. Hey, Ting Ting. Oh, cool. New anvils. That's always exciting. Yeah, it's ridiculously expensive to travel anywhere in Australia. Daniel, don't kill yourself to be part of this live stream. As much as I appreciate your being here. Yeah, Adam, you got to do more pirate stuff, man. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's good, the rescue efforts that are going through there. Yeah, I mean, Windex is the thing with WD-40 is that it clogs up the grip faster, but it has the advantage of not rusting the underside of your blade while you're sanding the top. So for most of my work, I don't even bother using Windex. It's just water and a little bit of dish soap, and that works just as well. Actually works almost better. It's cheaper. Anyway, so all you need is the water is the lubricant. The dish soap breaks up the surface tension and allows it to stick better, and also the suds a little bit help carry away swarf. But when it comes to the final sanding grits, you've got water trapped underneath your blade, and that's going to cause pepper spotting and stuff like that. So if you're trying to do your finish sanding, it's helpful to have oil there rather than water, which is why I use WD-40 at the end. But I use water for the rest. All right, Gordon, sleep well, mate. Well, that's good to hear, Ting. I'm glad you're feeling better, buddy. Yeah, most cosplay conventions don't allow you to take anything steel anymore. You have to, take EVA foam swords and stuff. Yeah, well, it's a little bit shit with all the fires going on for forging, that's for sure. Best to be safe. Yeah, that's also an option, Dogbone. I like having the board here because it means that I can't stab myself if I lean forward. Also, the edge of the board runs along the edge, and because my blades are close to sharp when I start hand sanding, it means that I can't. It's harder for me to run my fingers into the edge of the blade while I'm sanding. It depends on what kind of finish I'm trying for back 40. At the end of the day, if I'm doing like a 400 grit satin, then I'd be doing the W240 at 400. In this case, I'm going to be taking this blade specifically to 1200 grit. So when I start the 1200 grit, I'll start the WD-40. Whatever finishing grit I'm going to. Hey Bob, how we going? I used to free hang my blades, just clamp them to the edge of a table or something like that. When I started making more flexible knives, it made it a lot of a big pain in the ass. Having the having support under it meant that I wasn't going to have it flex so much. The other thing was that one day I was sanding a blade. It was actually a relatively short blade. Wasn't flexing or anything like that, but I had something on the far side of the table, and I went to reach. Went to reach over, and I had my hand hung down, and that's how I ended up getting that scar right there. Is it actually jammed the point into the back of my hand down to the bone. So yeah, it's a safety thing. Yeah, it is sort of all what works to you. I mean, in this case, it's more of a safety inclination thing. All it takes is a couple of seconds to be distracted, and things go bad. We had a couple of flyers start up like 10 minutes down the road. Fortunately, they bypassed us. They went north instead of west. Yeah, Stefan, that is a plan for the future. I will do a drilling rig. Cool. See, when you say drilling rig for an Australian, my mind immediately goes to the giant oil rigs off the coast, because we don't have land-based drilling rigs. So the idea of someone driving one of those is really funny. Although we do have mobile drilling rigs, but they're giant petrol tanker style ships. So again, not really trucks. So I ground these clips yesterday. On this one and the big one. So I'm going to sand those, and then I'm going to sand these close to finish. And when I say close to finish, I'm basically going to take it to the final grit, but I'm not going to do my final hand sanding strokes. Wait, there was a giveaway or something? I didn't even realize. Give it to someone who could use it. You can not count mine towards the giveaway. Sorry, I didn't watch all the way to the end. I watched until you used it. I watched until you put it on, but then I clicked away. Ew. I'd say you lift, bro. Yeah. Do you even lift, bro? I have a friend who's a weightlifting, competitive weightlifting dude. Shit, is that tomorrow? Oh, crap. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Alright. $100 to $150 per rig. Oh, fair enough. That's cool. Yes, my forged can definitely get to welding heat. I'll have to wait till Tuesday. I'll have to, pass it up a couple of days. Because Sam doesn't get here until then. Adam's a muddy blonde, which explains a lot. Yes, Randy is Newt. Surprised that man still has both his eyes. All the witches looking for Eye of Newt. How many knives am I doing? As many as I can. Is that an easy answer? Well, that's good news. Well, new anvils are always fun. My wife bought me my new anvil. I am a leather worker. Wow, that's really good. Hey, D-Backer. Yeah, I'll have a few hex hawks to sell and a couple of hammers. Depending on whether my hammers survive until then. They're all on my Etsy page, but apparently everyone's lost interest in buying a Samtown's hammer. Ugh. That's okay. It was a Russian hammering with a foot. So at the moment I'm focusing on 3 knives. And the main reason I'm focusing on those 3 is because I need 3 knives for my AKG test. But I have 15 knife blades ready to go for finishing, so much like last year, I made too many, and then I'm just gonna choose the best among them to step on a frog. I am already a member of the AKG, but I'm a probie. I'm a probational member of the AKG. I passed my first test. Year before last, and now I've got to pass my second test. And then once I pass my second test, I will be a full voting member. Yes, Australian Knife Makers Guild. Oh, the fires are everywhere, Corey. Freaking everywhere. Bury the hatchet. Yeah, it's an idea. Might use that one. Well, thanks, Ed. The only thing is I have to get the knives actually finished for that time. Because you have to have the knives in order for them to be judged. Oh, God. Two weeks. Yeah, it doesn't sound like plenty of time. No, they won't be bent and destroyed, Stefan. These ones only get judged on their fit and finish. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the truth. Adam? Yeah, no, that's hearsay. Fake news. Well, it is true that some of the fires are believed to be arson. There have not been any arrests made in conjunction with those. The big thing is that, like, it's not all one fire, it's multiples, all in a similar area. Hey, Randy, how you going? We were just talking about you. Yeah, that's definitely crap, Corey. I don't know where you heard that, but that's really freaking... That's really wrong. So the big bowie handle, I've already got that figured out. I had to remove a little bit of material top and bottom, so it'll make it a little bit narrower. Yeah, totally, Randy. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's stupid. There There was even a fake Facebook page made of a woman who was claiming to have set some of the fires. Yeah, my phone died. Luckily, I was like at the end of the stream anyway, but yeah, my phone ran out of battery. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of shit information out there about the fires. Which wood do you use as a handle material? It'll really depend on what wood I have access to be honest. I'm thinking this one will end up being Curly Minorici. The big buoy is going to have Koa. Curly Koa. And then, what else was there? One of the other blades is going to get a one of the blades is going to get a tea tree wood handle. Jarrah, you can stabilize it. It's not entirely necessary because it's a relatively dense hardwood. Provided that you've got a relatively dense piece and it's not like a really light piece, then you can just use it. Yeah, so I need someone to make it for me. Oof. Right. Oh God, why am I yawning? God. All right. As long as she's got the vacuum set up, vacuum chamber, that kind of stuff. Honestly, I've looked at doing my own stabilization, and seeing as I live down the road, basically, from one of the world's best stabilization companies, I'm going to let them do it. Especially because it only costs $15 a block. That sounds cool, Randy. I missed seeing that. So, but I know your work, and your aprons are always fucking top notch. So. Whew. Yeah, I haven't seen this penny around recently. Hope she's all good. Dave. It's not Ben's fault this time? I don't believe you, Bob. I don't believe you at all. Joel, the temperature at the moment is probably about 31, 32 degrees Celsius. See you, dear Becca. If I'm still here when you come back. If you come back. Thanks for jumping on the stream. Always appreciate viewers and people who are interested in interacting with the chat. Standing in Ricasa is always a pain in the ass. Well, that's good to hear, Bob. I'd hate to think that anything was going awry over there. Huh. Yeah, shut up, Adam. I'm waiting for a message from Alex asking me how I'm going and, you know, do I want to jump on a stream or something? So that I can remind him that I'm live streaming on Saturdays. Hey, Jared's here. Quick, everyone pack up. Party's over. Yeah. We're not going to kink shame on my stream there, Daniel. I don't know, Corey. They just find you incredibly inappropriate. Not your comments, just you personally. They just don't like you. Two Adams are the opposite ends of the country. That is true. But that's okay, because, you know, if I'm telling you, you know... Yeah, basically, if I tell one of you to shut up, the other one can assume that I'm talking to them too. Just it works. It works for both. How could I forget your name, Will? If I'm going to tell you to shut up, I'll tell you personally. .65 freedom height. Now that's a little lower than what I got. Yeah, well, that's a pretty common occurrence in most families, I think. My mom used to run through the gamut of names, and she'd always start with the wrong one. If she was calling for me, she'd say, Ben, Josh, Sam! Hey, Toyotix, how you going? Well, yeah, I suppose that's a bonus, Will. Hey, Sean. Well, you know who you are, yeah. You know who I mean. Yeah, I do that with my stepson. I'll yell at I'll yell for my stepson, and I'll say Shadow, Jake, Jesus. Okay, note to self, definitely doing the 600 grit for the big belly. Might try the COAT. Yeah. Well, if it's not my stepson acting up, it's my dog. So. I've called my dog Jake as well. Oh, fun, Randy. That sounds like oodles of fun. Tornadoes, yeah, well, I'd take the white stuff over tornadoes any day. Not that I've had any of either, so I can't really speak from experience. Huh. Oh dear Lord. Depends on what you're trying to make, Will. Yeah, fortunately the knife down wasn't knife down on my foot this time. If you're trying to make axes, the wrap die is useful if you're trying to make colonial style or early style axes. Does that make it drop forged? It was probably drop forged while it was being forged. Now it's just drop sanded. Yeah, hollows tend to be a pain in the butt. I don't like hollow grains. Yeah, there's a big tornado. There is a bit of hurricane up that way. Drop finished. Yeah, I wish. The other significant disadvantage of doing the wrapped method, Will, is that you have the opportunity for the forge weld to give out. If you're not that confident with your forge welds, then that can be a weak point. Plus, I personally find the punched and drifted is faster and easier. Yeah, dropping is nice on my knives. It shouldn't be a problem, Joel. Mine's a Venturi and mine runs welding heat. Most of the forges that I have used have been Venturi, and they've all got up to welding heat. So it'll depend on your fuel air mix. You could, Will. It'd look ugly as hell, but you could. Small wheels are always fun. It's Orc design, right? Well, you know, Orcs used rivets, I suppose. Honestly, at the end of the day, it just comes down to what you're comfortable with doing. If you think you've got the ability to do forge welds and, you know, that you don't have the stock to do a punched and drifted eye, or if you don't have the, if you don't have a striker, or if you just don't want to spend a bunch of time swinging a heavy hammer at a punch, then yeah, do the wrapped eye. You know, nothing's going to stop you. Yeah, my gas forge is very thermally inefficient. I need to build a new one. Fake news, Adam. New Zealand has no good smiths. I'm going to ignore the fact that Peter Lyon lives down there. Sonic cheese tots. Sounds fun. Yeah, the Gamco Forge burner kit's pretty good. Although, contrary to what they recommend, I would recommend putting Satanite on your refractory after you've put the KO in there. Well, you drive safe, Daniel. I want to see you in all my live streams, not just this one. Well, according to the MSDS, Ed, you don't actually need, according to the MSDS on ISOWall, you only need the rigidizer, you don't need any kind of refractory cement over the rigidizer. But I would highly recommend putting refractory over the rigidizer because, you know, it's important to protect your lungs. Yep, I'm with you, Ed. Thank you for all the oil cans, by the way, and the Vegemite, and I got the forge burner here. Oh, got that burner nozzle. Oh man, I'd highly welcome it, Ben. Man, there must have been some grit stuck in my 400. Some like 240 grit stuck in my 400 because just one or two really deep scratches I can't chase out with the 800, and it's really annoying me. Well, any wood that gets sent to me can be stabilized because I send it off to Mark to stabilize. Actually, Alex sent me a piece of that spotted poplar for me to have a look at. I'm going to get that stabilized by Mark. Yeah, no, Adam is crazy. God. Just gotta quickly duck out and take my meds. Just realized I hadn't taken my meds. Bad. Yeah, you can send unstabilized wood into the U.S. Into Australia. It has to be below a certain percentage of moisture. I believe it's like 8% or 5%. You can look up the customs requirements. Hi JT, you're barely there. It'll depend on the Nicholson file, Joel. There's no hard and fast way to test. The only hard and fast way to test is to, hit it with a Rockwell tester. But from memory, I believe most Nicholson files are 65 or 67. Here you go, Brack 40. Take it. Come on, man. I'm not going to hold it up here forever. Fine. I'm drinking it then. You missed out, man. Sorry. Yeah, they'll irradiate it anyway. They'll hit it with radiation anyway to kill everything. Yeah, well, some of us need to lower their sugar intake and still have an addiction to soda, so. Said canned pork meat during the swine flu. Well, the canned meat will have been processed to the point that the swine flu is unlikely to have been passed through. Hoping that's not an autohormone, but I think it is. This is 1084. It shouldn't be getting an autohormone. Shit. Go away, autohormone. I don't want you here. It's only faint. Should be able to get away with it. Yeah, man. You guys all come here to watch me stroke my steel. Yeah, keto. I did keto. Hey, Paul. I do like hormones, I just don't like them when I'm trying to not have a hormone. And this is an auto hormone, so it's not really a... It's not a controlled hormone. I'm actually currently doing a video collaboration with Alex from Valhalla Ironworks, my fellow Forgecraft presenter, on making hormones. No, I think he kept that for himself, Stefan. I think he had more use for that than I did. Hey, Weston, how you going, man? Long time no see. It does work, absolutely, Sean, and I do plan on going back to it eventually. £130 of bones. Yeah, no, that's tiny. You're tiny. We're recording our first episode of the year tomorrow, Adam. So it'll be out next Friday, or this coming Friday. We were going to record on Thursday, but, you know, things have been happening. $5.10. Well, yeah, fair enough. That's still pretty small for a $5.10. I weigh almost 4 times what you do. Without a shadow of a lie. 510 and 93. Okay, so that's not 100. Oh yeah, that's okay. So yeah, sorry, different. You're 5111, dude. You're huge, Adam. Left cheek is 100 pounds. 5111. I'm 6'5" and 210. You can figure out whether that's pounds or kilos. Six 200, yeah. Shorter, yes. The other, I'm not sure. Because I didn't see anyone vote on that video. Undetermined. You are tiny, Will. There's nothing wrong with that. Good things come in small packages, as they've told me. Concentrated awesome. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If that was true, Ed, then I'd have you all beat. Actually, probably closer to 220 at this point, rather than 210. At the height of when I was doing my keto, I lost 36 kilos. At that stage, I hadn't reached the 200 mark, so I got down to like 164. I'm husky. No, I'm fat, man. I am capital F-A-T. Ain't no beating around that bush. This table, I'm 6'3". Well, I'm definitely big, definitely not healthy, husky and fluffy probably. I'm in shape, round as a shape. That is true. Well, I'm certainly that shape, Bob. I have the advantage of being relatively tall, so it's not as obvious. But it is still pretty goddamn obvious. Yeah, no, I don't like people beating around the bush. At the end of the day, what is. No chains. See you, Weston. Thanks for jumping in, mate. No point in sugarcoating the truth. Doesn't help anyone. My life choices, or sometimes lack thereof, have led me to be where I am now. And there's no one to blame for that but myself. And until I start to deal with the problem and take my own advice that I give to others who are in a similar situation, I will continue to be self-destructive and overweight. It's just the way it is. Yeah, no one's kidnapping me. No one would want to, anyway. Anyone ever kidnapped me, they just end up freaking throwing me back out on the street immediately, just going, please, keep him. No more. It's a decision, that's right, Sean. Buddha is a god. This is true. Although technically, according to Buddhism, he's not actually a god. He's a man who reached enlightenment. Not a god as such. Buddhism doesn't really subscribe to the whole deistic ideal. Hey, Dragon Water. We're simply discussing the advantages of being portly, or in my case, morbidly obese. And Adam decided that my body type is Buddha-like. From there, I think the discussion devolved a little bit. I'm not interested in having discussions on theology on my channel. Well, welcome to your own beliefs and thoughts. But I'm a blacksmith. I don't deal in theology. I deal in sharp, flat, and pointy things. Quality time. Fun. Have a good one, JT. Knifealism indeed. I believe it, Ben. Hey, Mike, how you going? Or heavy round hitty things. This is true. They're just slightly blunt knives. Yeah, Sean. I'm all about gathering knowledge. But there are places for discussions. There are times for that kind of discussion. Now. Sam Rants on the podcast. Yeah, Sam Rants may end up becoming a thing, sadly. We kind of get taken away. It's an education spiel. Always helps to inspect after you've finished. Take a minute to inspect your work. Make sure that you didn't miss anything. Play it around the light a little bit. Roy and Sam. The Ram Rants, yes. Jeez, Jared. You're not a hashtag true fan. Borax. A question for me, metal and quenching? Hit me. Well, don't hit me, but you know, ask the question. While the other guys, you know, perform the Roy incantation. I would really not recommend doing that. Arsenic case harden. I haven't heard of that one. Yeah. I'm glad you managed to catch up, Bob. Jared actually recently did a video on case hardening and making a form of shear steel. Basically, it was what he was making, a form of shear steel, which is multiple case hardened layers of steel forge welded together to create a... to create a relatively homogeneous piece of steel. And that is a very traditional method of creating steel. Case hardening in and of itself is useful for making certain tools, chisels and stuff like that, that only need to be used for a small amount of time. Also useful if you're making files. ClickSpring did a really good one on that. But as far as using it for knives, I would say that it's pretty useless. Well, yeah. The other thing is that you can't really use Ratsack in the quench to case harden. Quenching in anything isn't going to case harden your knife. There was a myth that went around for a long time that you could quench in sugar, and the carburization of the sugar would actually carburize your knife, but that's complete crap. It's the same with the idea that you could quench and use motor oil, and the carburization from being run in an engine would somehow recarburize the surface of the material. Jared actually went into a little bit of where he used a pipe, which was interesting. I've seen it done in clay quite a bit. I was a bit worried that he might be creating a pipe bomb for himself. Because you need a relatively oxygen-free environment for the carburization to take place, especially because you need to sit in there for quite a while in order for the steel or the iron to uptake carbon. I did watch some of your video, Jared. I will get around to watching the rest of it, dude. It kind of came at the wrong time. I've been very distracted. But I promise I will watch the rest of it. I know you did case harden a knife entirely, and yes, it can be done, and it's not completely pointless, but the results of case hardening a knife aren't going to be as reliable as using monomolecular steel. Moss needs to go so. Yeah, Green Beetle's done a bunch of videos where he was trying to create blister steel, which is a form of case hardened steel that has full depth, full depth penetration. Um, but yeah, I mean, it can be done. It can be useful. I just don't think that it's super useful for most applications. Can be done. Should it be done? That's an argument for a different time. Do I use known steel for most of my knives? Now, yes, mostly. I tend to use either scrap steel that I've had spectroscopically analyzed to find out the exact chemical composition, or I buy known bars of steel. For instance, most of the 52-100 I use is old bearing races and roller bearings, but they have been gas chromatographed and spark analyzed to get the exact chemical composition. So I know that they're 52-100. Oh, cool, Daniel. Let us know how it goes. Farrier's Ass Tomahawks are always fun. See you later, Paul. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that one, Wiley. It is useful for family issues. Gotta love it, Sean. Have a good one, mate. Good to see you as well. Yeah, it doesn't matter how rusty they are, as long as there's some solid material in there, you can get some usable results out of leaf spring. As long as it's an alloy that's usable. You just cut a small piece off, forge it out to a small cross section, quench it and snap it, see if it works. All good, Daniel. There'll be another video out next week on finish grinding for after heat treat, where I go from... It's an as-forged blade that I hardened, and then I go through all of the grits, right down to finishing, preparing for hand sanding. Yeah. I don't shy away from using unknown steels when the opportunity arises. As my Journeyman Smith test knife out of a leaf spring video will show. So yeah, nothing wrong with known steels. Scrap steel ain't crap steel. Just got to know how to handle it. And I have an entire playlist on how to heat treat unknown steels and known steels. So if you're interested in the more in-depth topic of heat treating and getting the best results out of your material, then please go ahead and go check that out. I work alongside a company called LMATS, which is a material analyzation group. They actually do a lot of chromatographic and spectrographic investigation for mine sites and rail yards, testing all of the steels for the mines and the rails, making sure that they're the right composition, doing weld testing, stuff like that. And so they have all the materials available for that kind of analyzation, and I just pay them to do analyzation for me. You could probably find in your area a company that does that kind of thing. If you look up like metal testing, you'll probably find a company that's nearby that'll be able to do that. It's expensive, but it's worth it if you've got lots of a specific material. Like I have a lot of bearing race and stuff like that. Spectrum nanomonsters. Yeah, so For 4 units, for 4 different pieces, it costs $120 to get them tested. And so what I normally do is send, if I got a big bearing, I'd send a piece of the outer race, a piece of the inner race. Thank you. My wife has obviously been watching my stream. Or listening through the door. Ah, yes. There was something solid in it. I think it might be a fly. Yeah. The only reason I found that out was because I went to drink it and it was solid. I don't know what it is. I spat it back out. Yeah.
I wasn't listening to that bit. I was just making this up.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, if I have like a big bearing, then what I'll do is send one of the rollers, a piece of the outer casing, and a piece of the inner casing, and then normally I'll just send something else along with it, and that'll get all tested at the same time. That's how I found out that my Hex Hawks are all 1070 high carbon steel. So
It's a sultana.
it's a Sultan. Oh, okay, it's probably from my fruitcake. Yeah. Oh well, it was about the same size as a fly.
I can understand the instinct. I thought I'd just let you know what it was.
Okay, well that's good. I didn't have a fly in my mouth. That was nice. I just wasn't keen on swallowing. Ugh. Anyway. So yeah, it is expensive, but it is worth it if you have lots of a certain material. Everyone's saying hello.
Hi.
Social. She hates the camera. It is 10:45 in the morning, as I currently sit. So yeah, it is expensive but useful. Do I know what day? I have no idea, Ben. What day is it? I think it's Saturday.
It's Saturday. I'm at home.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. That's the answer. Everyone's thanking you for the coffee, like you made them coffee or something.
Technically, I made you tea, but
Oh, you made me tea. There you go.
I made myself coffee.
Cool. Hashtag tea for change. We are the future, indeed, Adam. I'm from the future, but Adam's from the even further future. He's like another 2 hours in the future. One of the tea things I like. Yeah, one of the tea things that I like. Very few tea things do I like. If anyone listens to the Forgecast, you'd get that joke. Don't even touch it. Yes, that's true. Fixing to be in the doghouse. Well, I'm always in the doghouse somehow. It's where I'm most comfortable. You Englishing good today. You always English good, Adam. If you have a case hardened bearing race, then the only way to re-harden it after you've forged it is to case harden it again. Well, I can't blame you entirely, Adam. You are a Northern Territory boy. And, you know, we all know the grasp of English in the Northern Territory isn't the greatest. Evolution hasn't caught up there. Yeah, Old English is crazy. They speak for a form of English, Adam. It is a form of English. That's the mutants. Yeah, well. I won't disagree. Because Alex lives down there. Not using let's get the flies out. I think I remember seeing. I think I remember seeing Saber Ed ask me if hand sanding makes a difference. Absolutely, it makes a bloody difference. It depends on how well you do it, though. The process of hand sanding is a little bit of a tricky business. My computer is nearby me, actually. I'm looking at it. That's how I'm answering the questions without looking at the camera. Hey, Woody, and who's that person? I can't remember her name. It's like, Caitlin, I think? Just kidding. Hey, Caitlin. How you going? Coffee break. Tea break, actually. It's excellent. My wife made it for me, so it's always excellent. As I said, otherwise she'd probably kill me. All good, D-Backer. That's kind of why I do these kind of streams. The hand sanding streams aren't so much about, watching the hand sanding, because that's boring as hell. It's more about my ability to interact with you guys. Maybe sanding for days? Probably, unfortunately, yes, because I have this blade, which is a nice little 5.5, 6-inch vest buoy, and then I have this 9-inch sax, broke-back sax. Actually, this one's finished. Sanded, at least. I've got to put the handle on. But then I have to hand sand this. This 12.5-inch, 3-inch wide Bowie knife blade. So yeah. I got lots of hand sanding to do. I also have like 5 other blades that I have to hand sand, but this Bowie, this one's going to be the pain. Shurap's method of hand sanding, whilst interesting, I believe is a little bit not dangerous, just pointless. Explain the atmospheric biometric loop. Sorry, not my forte there, Ben. Go to Dundee. Hey, Ben Strickland, how we going? Late as usual. I don't know if you're late as usual, but, you know, I'm going to say it. I just don't think it's any better than hand sanding by hand normally. The main reason he can use his automated hand sanding machine is because he uses a disc grinder to get up to a really high grit before he goes to hand sanding, which means he doesn't have to bother crossing grits like I do. Because I don't have a disc grinder. So I think for him it works, and you know, that's great. I know that DB Blades made a version for himself. He's another Australian knife maker. But for me personally, I am going to stick with my method because it's what I'm comfortable with and I have more control. Yeah, I'm alright, Ben. I'm alright. I'm getting there. Slowly getting there. It's been a bit of a rough week, so I'm kind of slowly getting back on track. What are some alternate blade finishes that I like? So I like pretty much most blade finishes. I will do a Cinque d'Oro one day. So yeah, I'll definitely do a Cinque d'Oro one day. They're very cool. Not stupid if it works. That is true. I didn't say it was stupid, I just said that it's not something I prefer. So other blade finishes, so for me personally, I like, I don't mind like a gun blued finish on a blade, like, or parkerized. Parkerized looks amazing. If I had access to parkerization services, then I would definitely be doing more of that. A high mirror with parkerizing, just, oh, so nice. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, if you go on Instagram and look up the Des Rosiers, that's DESROSIERS, Des Rosiers, Adam and Haley. They are a couple of mastersmiths from Alaska who do a lot of parkerized finishes. It's basically jet black, Adam. It's jet black finishes. The blades look amazing, and I would love to do a parkerized blade one day. I don't mind Damascus if it's done properly. Kyle Royer, probably my favorite Damascus maker out there. For me personally, I don't like making a lot of Damascus, but to each their own. Other than that, I've actually been kind of partial to the French etch. It's a bit of a... No, it's not matte black, it's shiny. Shiny. Hear what Alec is doing? Making a friggin' Zweihander? Yeah, I heard. I'm not gonna watch it, but I heard. Well, in their case, they have a very, very small edge, so, you know, not really, but, yeah, no, it just makes it absolutely nightmare black. It's amazing. Go look up Adam and Haley Des Rosiers on Instagram. You'll be able to see blades that they've done with parkerization. It looks freaking awesome, and I'll do one day. Part 52 of, yeah. Yeah, I know, you know, the thing is, back 40, is that once you get past like 800 layers, the process is actually relatively simple to get, you know, is relatively simple to get to 2 million. It's just fold and weld. Or in his case, probably cut multiple stacks and weld. Really easy. Yeah, after about 1 million layers, you just don't see anything. So 2 million layers is going to look like bugger all. Man, steel test. Basically, yeah, 2 million layers, and you're looking at a homogeneous piece of steel that is basically a mix of 15 and 20 and whatever he's mixed it with. So a French etch is mustard patina, otherwise known as a French patina, blah blah blah. Hey, no way, how you going? Yeah, he did 1 million layers a while ago. He made a karambit out of it, and you could barely see any pattern on it. So you look at the karambit, and then you think about how much doubling that was going to do, and yeah, that's what you're going to see on the end of the on the end result of the thing. Cool. It's always a good day in the smithy. Yeah, it would be like incredibly refined wrought iron. It would just look like a mono piece of steel. Maybe slightly wavy. Yeah, you can mess it up and no one would know. That's it. The only reason he's doing 2 million layers is because the idea of saying 2 million layers in the video is, you know, like going to get everyone interested because they're like, oh my god, 2 million? It doesn't mean anything. Just means he spends an extra hour at the friggin' power hammer. I've given up on watching Alex content, I'm sorry. When it took him 3 episodes to make a pair of forge doors, I'm like, really? I mean, I don't mind low layer either. I like middling layers, you know, the kind of 240, 400 layers counts. You know, because you get a relatively fine pattern, but you also get enough contrast that it looks interesting. Yeah, and that's right. He's not being viewed by most blacksmiths and bladesmiths anymore. But yeah, so at the end of the day, and I understand it's for 2 million subs, but it's also because he can say, oh, 2 million. Yes, and he is, and that's something that I've always said, is that he has been the gateway drug for the blacksmithing community. It's, you know, it's indisputable that he's done good things for the blacksmith community. I loved his early stuff, and I go back and watch it occasionally. I even watched, we even went back and rewatched the entire Viking Sword saga. So, you know, like, it's not like I hate him or anything like that. It's just that I just don't like his current format. Family crisis averted. Excellent. That's always good. Yeah, but when you have as much money as he does, Wiley, it doesn't really matter. Hey, Curiosity. Long time no see, buddy. Hope you're feeling well. Heard you were going through some health stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah, not interested. Yeah, about that. Oh yeah, and Alec inspired me in some ways back when he was at Barker Street and when he moved into the new forge. That's, you know, that's never been in dispute. So yeah, I've made my views on Alec pretty clear over the years. I don't dislike the guy, I just don't watch his content anymore. So yeah, other than that, so French patina is using using mustard or other kinds of acidic pastes to create a splotchy, kind of old style look to a blade. If you look up mustard patina on Google or French patina, French etch, you can get a good idea of what it looks like. When it's done well, it looks pretty cool. Beyond that, I don't know. It really does become a subjective thing. Like, you know, what kind of clamp am I using? I'm using a standard F clamp. If I just kick that out of the way, it's just an F clamp. The old school F clamps that you use for like woodwork and stuff. No, it won't make a good knife. Toyotix 304 and 316 and 301, anything starting with a 3 in the stainless field, won't harden, so it's a mild steel. Not a huge fan of Stonewash. Stefan, meh. Cool, Alan, that sounds good. Tomahawk's always fun. I make lots of them these days. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of blades that have been like electrochemically etched and stuff like that to bring out patterns and stuff. That looks pretty good. Jake Rhodes, who's another Perth-based knife maker here in Australia, makes some pretty cool kitchen knives with like faces and stuff like that etched onto them. He makes some friggin' amazing blades. I've loved some of the work that he does. Trying to think. Mosaic Damascus is pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of belt finishes, like grinder finishes, machine finish. Unless it's done right and unless it's on the right kind of knife. Like there are certain kinds of knife that you can get away with it on, especially tactical style knives. You know, the kind of Tommy tactical kind of stuff. Yes, it can be used as Sanmai. I've also seen 4 series stainless, like 416, used as a jacket for Sanmai, but you need to do it in an oxygen-free environment, so you need to weld the seams completely to get it to weld properly. Well, there's always a start, Alan. Sanmai, yes. If I lived in America, I would have to call it Sanmai because Cold Steel actually patented the term. Yeah. Galvanization, yeah, no, hell no, I'm not going to galvanize a knife. Ugh, that's disgusting. And we're back. Reducing atmosphere can do, but yeah, no, get rid of all of the oxygen, weld the seams. don't try and rely on flux, because the amount of chromium and stuff like that in stainless, you will just never get it to weld. Yes, you need a smaller punch, Alan. So if you're asking for a good starting steel for like Sanmai, I would advise starting with something like low alloy high carbon steel like W2 or 1084 and use mild steel for the jacket. I've kind of got used to it now, Will. 4140 really isn't a low alloy steel. It's a medium alloy steel. You could use the 4140 as a jacket, but I would more recommend using a 10 series, so 1095, 1070, 1084 for the core, and then go with mild steel for the middle. I just need to get up to stretch because this chair is killing my back. At least I'm wearing my long shirt today. Hey, Rob. Good luck with that, buddy. Yeah, it's probably a little low carbon for what you want, Caitlin. You could try Toyotix. I mean, you know, you're more than welcome to try new things. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm saying that most of the guys that people that have tried have ended up sticking with the weld the seams. Most forklift tines are about 4140, yeah, or 1045 or something like that. I'm relatively low carbon steel. Really good for it's really good for hammers and stuff. Not so good for knives, no. Forklift tine's better left for hammers and impact resistance. If you want knives, go for leaf springs, coil springs, files, bearings. Those are your normal standard kind of scrap steel knife steels. Beyond that, you're better off buying some known steel. That's always a good way to go, Caitlin. Just dive in the dumpster of your local wreckers or your local vehicle repair. Oh yeah, in conjunction definitely wouldn't hurt for sure. Although I think pumping the CO2 might lower your temperature a little bit. I'd be interested to know how that affects it. We've been okay with the fires. We recently had a fire that was about 10 minutes down the road, but luckily it went north rather than east, rather than west, so it dodged us. The main areas affected have been over east in the you know, the capital and Sydney and all that kind of stuff. We over here in Perth aren't as, you know, aren't as screwed. Yeah, comparatively speaking. Yeah, you know, we're moderately less screwed than the rest of the country. We're still screwed. We're just not as screwed as the rest of the country, which, you know, should say something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that RPM is like half a day away from getting shot. The way he's handling things is morally repugnant. I don't normally weigh in on that kind of things, but this isn't a political statement. This is purely a personal statement. Scott Morrison can go fuck himself.
Amen.
I don't give a shit what party he's from. He's a fucking asshole. Actually, I found a pretty cool little song on YouTube, which is I hope Scotty's house burns down. Oh yeah, under vacuum it would hold a really good. Man, if you have the ability to hold welding heat under vacuum, then you could probably weld stainless without the welding. Yeah, Alan, that's kind of the thing. Is like it's not a. That's not a political statement. That is purely a personal statement on my opinion of a specific person. There have been people within the Liberal Party who've actually been trying to do the right thing. There have been people within his party who have come out. And tried to do the right thing, but yeah, no. Scott Morrison can go fuck himself. And I'll say that with no ounce of bias. I tend to keep politics out of my channel. Politics, religion, that kind of thing. Everything that ruins family gatherings is normally a no-no on my channel. Purely because we are all of diverse opinions and diverse, backgrounds. And I want everyone to feel like they are just as welcome, no matter their political leanings, religion, whatever. But when it comes to specific people, yeah, I'm more than happy to voice my opinion. Well, I appreciate that, Alan. Yeah, Rob, you'll get to snoop around some of it. Unfortunately, the way my Patreon's set up, the Bellow Pumpers, the $1 tier, only gets access to like the fairly base level stuff. The $5 and up tend to get access to the behind the scenes videos and stuff, so sorry about that, but that's kind of how I had to set it up. Most of us like Bowies. If Mer was here, he'd tell you that he doesn't like them. Sounds good, Daniel. Yeah, Monopoly. Monopoly is a family ruiner. Not all Bowies throw very well. I mean, you could throw the buoys I'm making, but I wouldn't really want to have people throwing my buoys around. Some buoys are well balanced, some buoys not so much. It does depend on the buoy, because the definition of buoy knife is actually fairly loose. Mainly because we don't actually know which knife was actually carried by Jim Bowie. We know, for instance, that the knife that he was carrying at the Natchez bar fight wasn't a quote-unquote Bowie knife. It was actually more like a kitchen knife made out of a file. It didn't have a guard, and it was about 8 inches long. That was the bar fight that got him famous. That was the one where he got shot. That was, that was where he got his name. But That wasn't a Bowie knife. That wasn't actually the Jim Bowie knife. What happened was, after that, he went to John Black, and got his whittled a design for John, and then they had John make it. But the problem is that he died at the Alamo, and we don't actually know. We don't actually know which Bowie is actually his Bowie. So there's been the Searles Bowie, which was a coffin-handled kitchen knife style knife, which had no guard. That's been touted as the Bowie. Then there's the Musso Bowie, which is what this is patterned off. The big one. Normally has the sparring bar. Yeah, there have been a number of buoys that have come out, and and people have said that they are the buoy, but no one really knows. These days, a Bowie knife is anything that's got a clip point, a double-tined guard normally. Although I've seen some people say that a Bowie can have just a single finger guard, but it has to have some form of guard. His brother designed and made the first knife, the one he used in Natchez, and that wasn't a Bowie knife. Yeah, the D-guard. Those were during the Civil War, well after Bowie was around. That was well after Jim was around. Yeah, no, the original Natchez knife was made by his brother. I can't remember his brother's name. It was like, it started with an R. It's like Wraith. I think it's Wraith Bowie. So yeah. No, I think it was Wraith. So, Raith, I think. No, it's different Wraith. Actually might have an E at the end. I can't research it right now. But anyway. Yeah, the D-guards from the Civil War were designed to be used to edge up. Yeah, something like that, Caitlin. Anyway, so Wraith originally made the first Bowie, which he used at Natchez, which was more like a kitchen knife, what you would think of as a kitchen knife, about an 8-inch blade. Anyway, and it had no guard, and it was just a standard handled kitchen knife, which he used to fight off those guys. Then when he won the fight at Natchez, he ended up going to John Black in Washington, Arkansas, and he had whittled a knife that he had designed himself. Jim had designed that he thought was going to be like the ultimate fighting knife. And when he gave John Black the design, John made it for him, and he took that with him to the Alamo. Because of his fame at Natchez, because everyone had heard about that point, about Jim Bowie's surviving the bar fight at Natchez, the sandbar. Everyone wanted the Bowie knife, and actually, John started making a lot of the Bowie knife in various designs around the Bowie knife, and that's why there's so many kind of designs of the Bowie knife, because John made variations on the design. No, knuckle guards are not legal in Oz. Any knife that has a guard or anything that has a guard that guards more than one finger is immediately resin buoy. There you go. I knew it started with an R. I was wrong. Resin. It's resin. There you go. Thanks, Sean. I knew someone was going to Google it eventually. I knew it was a weird name, and I knew it was started with an R. I couldn't remember his full name because it's weird. Resin. So yeah, that's why no one really knows what the Bowie knife looks like. These days, anything can be a Bowie if it's got a clip point. For instance, the knife that I've got in front of me, let's see if I can lean you guys in to get you a bit of view. There you go. So this here would be called a vest buoy. It's about 6 inches long. Let's get the ruler, because the ruler has measurements. Well, actually, it's like a 6.5 inch blade. So yeah, 6.5 inch blade. It'll be 7.5 inches to the guard. One of us. One of us. Hey, Odin. How we going? Yes, and then the British picked up the Bowie knife design and made the Sheffield Bowie, which is the famous Bowie knife that actually England made more Bowie knives than America did. The ruler indeed rules. So yeah, and then when Sheffield picked up the market, because there wasn't really a knife maker's industry in America, most of the knives that were made, that were used in America were either made in England or France. Some made in Germany, but England and France was the common. More hand sanding shenanigans, indeed. All of the hand sanding shenanigans. You guys are. So how many buoys are there? I think the current claim for the original buoys is 8. I think there are 8 that are in contest for the original. The only 2 that I know that are names of, well, actually, there are 3 that I know the names of. The Natchez buoy, the Searles buoy, and the Musso buoy. Musso buoy is my favorite. But if you're asking me how many designs of buoy there are now, beyond count. Beyond count. For every knife maker, there is a different design of buoy. Because the design parameters, are so weird, like the only design parameters are, it has to be clip pointed and it has to have a guard. That's about it. Because that is the basic design parameters, anything with a clip point and a guard immediately becomes a buoy. And so that means that there are infinite amounts of buoys out there. But yeah, I believe it's 7 or 8 that are claimed to be the original, but no one can figure out which one is the original. It would depend on the type of buoy, Joel, and what kind of look you're going for, or yeah. If you want to make a Musso style buoy, like the big buoy I've got behind me that I've been showing on stream occasionally, then my advice would be start with something smaller. But if you want to make a Musso buoy, go for it. Forge as close to finish as you possibly can, so that you spend less time grinding, less time sanding. Grind it to as high a possible grit as you possibly can, if you want to hand sand it. The blade can be quite wide, that is true. It doesn't actually have to be, though. 800 layer Damascus buoy. Actually, I think I'd have to make mine like 3,200 layers to keep up with my subscriber count. Thank you very much to everyone who subscribed, by the way. Much appreciated. So when it comes to my hand crank blower, I think, well, I got mine from Gamico. 3.27 thousand. It's going up from yesterday. That's always good. So yeah, what was I saying? It's not the Alex Steele episodic show. That's for sure. I do have a channel, Ben. It's not very big, it's not very interesting, but I do have a channel. I'd appreciate that if you could, Ben. Alright, Joel, thanks for checking into the stream, mate. Hopefully some of it was useful. Hopefully you weren't too pissed off by my prevaricating. Hey, it's Alex. He didn't message me before coming onto the stream. There you go. Miracles can happen. Do I ever use a 3,000 or 6,000 grit stone? When I'm sharpening, sure. I use a 6,000 grit. I also have a 10,000 and 19,000 grit stone that I use for razors. More cool history stuff. I have so much history shit in my brain. You'd have to give me a specific time period and specific weapon. I bought them on eBay, funnily enough. If you look up razor hone or razor stone, you can find Devon. I found a guy in Devon, England, who was selling pieces of Dover slate, grit rated Dover slate, 10,000 and 19,000 grit. 16th century swords. Of which kind? 16th century swords are some of my favorite swords. Did I miss someone? Hopefully I said hello, John Bell. Hey, Deanne. Who's translating the jargon? You'll have to ask one of the guys in the chat. Ever selling my hunter tips in bulk? Well, I mean, I can make them to order. So if you're interested in ordering a bunch, then just send me an email to samtownsbladesmith at gmail.com. samtownsbladesmith@gmail.com, and I will. Her son's doing the translating. Cool.
You sound like an infomercial.
Then I will. Yeah. $5 a head is normally my going rate for arrowheads. Oh, she said her son. Yeah, okay. I didn't read it properly. Never mind. Whew. Sweet. It comes with 2 E's. That's okay. That's sweat, and I will be doing a lot of that if you order a lot of. Well, that's good, Deanne. That's the best way to do it. Embarrass your children. Teach them well so that they may embarrass their children when they are older. Well, actually, small swords didn't come through until the 19th century, Speargrass. It is argued that there were some small swords in the late 18th century, but yeah, most of the small swords would have come out of the early 19th century. Rapiers were more of a 17th century advent, 1615, 1620. Was when rapiers started coming on the scene. Rapiers are obviously one of my favorite swords. Before that, we kind of had the side sword, the spadlilato, which is the sword you wear at your side, funnily enough, which was kind of a mix between rapier and arming sword. Journeyman, here he comes. Cool. Me too. One day. What about Saf? Well, shut up, Alan. So yeah, Preston has a lot of dies to come. He's only got 2 sets of dies at the moment. There's a mild steel set of flat dies, although I want to exchange those for some 4140 hardened. And it's got a pair of hardened 4140 drawing dies, 50 mil round drawing dies. And that's a good policy, Alex. It's a policy I like to stick to as well. Avoid mainstream media. Feather Damascus sword. Hey, Techron. Cut lad. Funny. Yeah, arming swords are cool. I'm actually making an arming sword for the for knife show. Funnily enough, I hardened and tempered it the other day. I heard the word rapier. Rapiers are cool. I love rapiers. I was just saying that rapiers are probably my favorite type of sword. Hence why Kevin Cashin is one of my favorite American master bladesmiths. Transitional rapier, yeah, they're cool. Oh yeah, I'm a member of the FCA, or used to be. Oh yeah, the spear is the king of the battlefield. Like, there's no argument here. The swords are a sidearm. They're not a main weapon. Ah, the Ulfbert, yes. Ulfbert sword were cool. They were the precept to the to an arming sword. Hybrid Scandinavian Persian sword. That sounds interesting. Yeah, I let my membership lapse. Yes, Alex. Sure. Ed Caleb specialized in longsword. If I remember correctly. which there is every opportunity that I don't. Alright. See you later, Rex. Thanks for jumping in, mate. It's all 8 or 10 more, yeah. Don't tempt him, he'll do it. God. Let's stand up again. So you're not looking at my stomach. Hello. Oh, I'm not sure if you can hear all that snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah, totally old.
I'm not old, just sitting in a really shit chair.
Oh, shit, Joe.
You sit in it for an hour or two.
I do. I work.
Okay, my posture sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that. Don't know, Black 40, you know, yet to be decided how long I go for. Ah, God damn it. There is no lumbar support in this chair. 10:40 p.m., yeah. Well, it's 11:40 a.m. here. Man, I was still in high school back then. 4:41 a.m. Jesus, Stefan. Go to sleep.
Just Stefan stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning to watch these.
4 o'clock in the morning. And yes, he does stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning to watch this.
You batshit, man.
Sleep is for the weak, he says.
Batshit.
06, I was still in high school. We already knew this about Stefan.
You batshit.
Yes, we already knew this.
Oh, yeah.
See ya, Ben. Thanks for hanging around so long, dude.
Damn it, it's nice. That's the clip thing.
It's a clip, yes. It's 1986. Well, my first year out of high school was 2009. I was born in 1991.
realise this?
Did I only take one? That explains a lot.
It was in the handle of the fridge.
Oh. '18 in July. Well, there you go. I'm 29 in April. Almost 30. 30's coming for me.
Shut up.
My wife doesn't like to be reminded. Christy's 8 years older than me. She really doesn't like to be reminded that that is the case.
I'm just mentioning all that bitch about your age. But
I
they're
bet you
old.
don't know all
Little cookies.
that. Ooh, cookies.
I got cookies.
You're older than the internet, so am I. The internet didn't come online until 1993.
I can use DOS.
I used to be able to. Back when I needed to.
They're baby cookies.
Oh, happy birthday, Sean. Thanks for that information, Alan. We really needed to know. $45 and 2 hours and 15 minutes. Well, yeah. Happy birthday for 4 hours. Pretty good. Is that salted caramel?
Marshmallow. Definitely hot. They're pretty good.
Oh, not bad. Alright. It's clip sanded. I'm gonna leave it at 800 grit. Now I just need to do 1200. And I shall be done skis. See you, Ben. We will try and stay safe. See you, Chris. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Punch cards. Right. Alan makes me shower after every few jokes. Alan is Curiosity Forge. And it's Alan with an E. Well, this is true, Will. Not that we need to see it. Okay, I'm gonna go get my Dub D40. Back in 1 second. hope I'm gonna have enough to sand this. You guys been good while I've been gone. Whew. What's the temp of the aircon? 22, 23? Yeah, 70, 75. CD back on. No such thing, Adam. I'm not, I don't run the metric system. I work in inches more than I work in centimeters. Metric inches. Mexican American? Joke's bad, okay. Okay. Drugs are bad, okay. Oops. Metric monsters. Well, we all know what kind of gaming platform you use then, well. Now my battery's running away. Yes, I am suggesting that he is a PC gamer. You're not a PC gamer? Well, maybe I'll still like you then. Get a Wii. God. Xbox is not PC. Xbox is Microsoft. But it's not a PC. Yeah, I agree, Will. Console's better. Xbox isn't made by Windows. Xbox is made by Microsoft. Windows is made by Microsoft too. Jesus, Alan, that sounds fun. Freaking out Mac boys with that description, sure enough. Yeah, I'm an Xbox gamer, although I only have a 360. I don't have a One yet. My favorite game to play? That's a good question. Probably. Well, at the moment, I've been going on a bit of a. What was I playing? What was I playing the other day? I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption, but I think at the moment my favorite game is Skyrim. I wish I could play Witcher Wild Hunt. Unfortunately, it's only on. Unfortunately, it's only on Xbox One. It's not on 360, so I will suffer. Yeah, Skyrim. Because you can afford it. Ah, I've been found out. I don't game as much as I used to. I didn't game much back then anyway, but when I do get on, I like to play for, ages.
You're a binge gamer.
Yeah, I'm a binge gamer. That's right. Like I bought all 3 Gears of War and I played all of them. Back to back. You'd be arguing. Yeah, well, you do live in a swamp, so that makes sense. What are you doing in my swamp? Yeah, that's definitely the right decision, Will. Sounds cool, Alan. I'll watch that.
Dog's annoyed at you. You keep talking and waking her up.
Sorry, dog. Am I talking and waking you up?
She's just been
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that the 28 hours of sleep you've got in the last 24 weren't good enough. There are some blacksmithing games, but they're all shit. I think my favorite smithing, it's a smithing minigame basically, is in Fable, because it's ridiculous. Let me hit this red hot thing of metal 5 times and then suddenly a sword. Greetings, Ignis Metalworks. I'm running desperately low on RP7. This 84 is relatively wear-resistant stuff. I didn't know you were a game design teacher, Caitlin. That's cool. Old enough to be an NPC. Well, it's not a bad thing, Alan. As long as I don't keep killing the blacksmith, you'll be fine. D&D bum game. Yeah, I would love to get into D&D, but I don't have anyone nearby that actually plays it, and the people that I know that do play it tend to be like 45 minutes drive north. Alex bombed. Oh no. What did you bomb at, Alex? I know it can be played over the interwebs. I just, you know, don't do the interwebs thing. I'm what we in the business call technologically challenged.
You're a fucking love.
This is true.
Tell them how long it took me to make you get rid of that friggin' flip phone.
When I first moved into the house, I still had a flip phone. And this was like 7 years ago, and it took, what was it, 2 years?
It was 2 years before I could drag you kicking and screaming into the 20th century.
And then I had an iPhone 4 for like forever, until finally it died to the point that we needed to get new phones. And that's why I now have my Samsung S7.
Trying to block the noise out.
Oh, my friggin' computer just died. Oh. It's not plugged in. No, it's okay. It's dead now. Oh yeah, the ones that spit out the bottom. Yeah, those were cool. What? What's she doing?
She's all over her spirit ahead in this house. I think she's trying to block you out.
It's not working.
No. Yeah, I'm joking, Becky. Outside with you?
The tungsten dice, Jesus.
It's outside.
Alright, well, given that my computer just died and I don't want to have to keep twisting my head to look up things because I'm lazy and it's also been going for 2 hours and 47 minutes, I think I'm going to end the live stream here. I've still got a lot of hand sanding to do, and I'll probably have another hand sanding video, live stream soonish, but for now, we shall say goodbye. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, then I'm very, very sorry, and maybe the next time you will. I will have another video coming out on Wednesday, which will be about grinding again. I have a video out at the moment, which is about rough grinding prior to heat treat. And then I'll have, next week's video is going to be a video on after heat treat grinding. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you go check that out. Beyond that, thank you guys so much for being around. I'm sorry I've been kind of out of it recently. It's been a really interesting week. Yeah, don't forget the espresso spreader. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, thanks guys, and have a good one. See you Wednesday, or before then if I do another live stream. Cheers guys.